Now, for some of you out there, maybe your teams will be picking in the top 10 of the NFL draft in 2018. Hey, I got you covered. Here's my top 10 mock draft for you. Picking number 1 overall, the Cleveland Browns. Death, taxes, and the Browns picking number 1 overall. They have clinched it. They're 0-15. They get Sam Darnold, quarterback out of USC. And I originally had Josh Rosen, but I actually do think John Dorsey is going to put some weight to what Rosen recently said about his preference to, be picked lower to play for the team that's a better fit for him. I don't think Dorsey's going to like that at all. And unless he has some sort of conversation with Rosen ahead of time, I think he's going to go ahead and get Sam Darnold, because you're splitting hairs with Darnold and Rosen respectively. And I just think Dorsey is more of a no-nonsense kind of GM. He doesn't want to hear stuff like that. And everybody's going to talk about it in Cleveland if Rosen does get selected too, right? The statements that Rosen made. So give me Sam Darnold, the guy who says he just wants to play football and he's happy to be playing in the NFL. I like that guy better than Josh Rosen. So Cleveland Browns, they get Sam Darnold. Now, Rosen, be careful what you wish for, my man, because you're going to the Big Apple. The Giants picking number 2 overall. By the way, this is the current draft order. Things will obviously change after Week 17, so there you go. Giants at number 2. That means Josh Rosen will go to New Jersey / New York, however you want to say it. And one will have to wonder how much of an effect the new head coach will be in terms of selecting this pick here at number 2 or wherever it is. They already got their new GM, Dave Gettleman. That was announced yesterday, former Panthers GM. So there you go. They got that figured out. But the new head coach, how will that factor in to the number 2 overall pick, or probably going to be a top 5 pick for the Giants here? Rosen, elite arm talent, great fundamentals, fits better in New York, I feel, than Darnold does. I think Rosen will actually do pretty well in the bright lights of New York. Rosen at 2. The Colts picking at 3. Connor Williams, offensive line, offensive line, offensive line. Big, big theme for me here in the top 10. Outside of Anthony Costanzo, the Colts are just awful on the offensive line. Chris Ballard will likely clean house with his coaching staff, and the same can be done for this front 5 here outside of left tackle. LaRaven Clark at right tackle has been brutal, or actually that he's been playing right guard, and Joe Haig there on the right side too, been brutal. Give me Connor Williams here. I think he could be a good right tackle and maybe a nice fill-in at left tackle if Costanzo gets hurt at all in 2018. Big piece for Andrew Luck here going into 2018. Connor Williams from Texas going to Indianapolis. All right, sticking with the tackle theme here, Orlando Brown, an absolute mammoth on the offensive line. From Oklahoma, he goes to Cleveland. I think this is the smart play, but I could see the Browns going Saquon Barkley or Minkah Fitzpatrick here. I could see that. So I'm not as sold about this pick here as I am about the rest of the top 10, but Brown obviously would be a fantastic pickup. I mean, first of all, Joe Thomas not getting any younger and coming off an injury going into 2018, so, Brown could be that next guy there at left tackle. And think about it here. The Browns have been really solid at left tackle for, what seems like years. And Brown can kind of be that new guy there on that left side once Thomas moves along. So, you could see Brown filling in at right tackle too. Sean Coleman has been really bad this year, 51st ranked tackle according to Pro Football Focus. So Orlando Brown getting picked at number 4 by the Cleveland Browns. And by the way, the Browns get that pick thanks to the Houston Texans. So the Texans would be picking on that slot if they didn't trade it away. All right, number 5, Bradley Chubb, NC State edge rusher, real disruptor here. Simple. The Buccaneers are dead last in sacks, and I like Bradley Chubb a lot. 6'4", 275, quick hands, and would be a great compliment to veteran defenders Levante David and Gerald McCoy here. Could also see the Bucs getting Minkah Fitzpatrick there to throw him out there in the secondary. The secondary has been pretty bad this year, but I think you got to start from the inside and then work out. You got to start on that front line. Bradley Chubb would be a great pick for Tampa Bay. All right, number 6, back to the offensive line. Quenton Nelson, probably the best run blocker in the draft. Really a fantastic guard. It would be a great pickup for the Denver Broncos. The Broncos want to be a run-first team. That is their offensive identity. And I think the Broncos get Kirk Cousins too. So they're not going to get a Baker Mayfield or a Josh Allen or anything like that. They're going to address the offensive line, make sure C.J. Anderson can run effectively in 2018 and create the play action and the big-time plays down the field with Kirk Cousins at quarterback. So Max Garcia, left guard, big concerns for him, ranking 59th this year among guards. I think Nelson could be a week 1 starter. Number 7, Baker Mayfield, Oklahoma quarterback, of course. This is just a fun pick going to the New York Football Jets. I like this. I do. I mean, think about it. You got Rosen and you got Mayfield going to the Big Apple. I think that'll be fun. So, look, the Jets here, I don't think they have a, kind of positive situation at the quarterback position here with what they have on the roster. So, I think they kind of have to look ahead here. Bring in a Baker Mayfield, see what can happen, and I'm sure Robbie Anderson and Jermaine Kearse will celebrate this pick too, the 2 wide receivers there for the New York Jets. So Mayfield at 7. Who's at 8? There's Saquon. This would be a big-time play for the headlines. Going to the San Francisco 49ers, currently at number 8 there. And Saquon, a big-time spark plug in my eyes. I'm not so sure Kyle Shanahan is confident in Carlos Hyde here. And I think this could be the splashiest pick outside of the whole Darnold Rosen situation here. So I'm not sold on Matt Breida either. I think Saquon Barkley could create some big-time plays, and I see something in wide receivers Marquise Goodwin and Trent Taylor on that offense. I think this offense could be sneaky good going into 2018. Watch out for this 49ers team, because all of a sudden that defense is playing better too. If they get Saquon, this could be an electric offense in 2018. All right, number 9. We got the Chicago Bears getting James Washington, Oklahoma State wide receiver. So I don't agree with it, but I think this could happen. The Bears need someone opposite Cameron Meredith, and I think James Washington can be that guy. He's got 4.4 speed and can open up the opportunities for Zach Miller and Tariq Cohen underneath. So I think this would be a need pick, shall we say. I mean, the Bears need a wide receiver, right? So if anybody is going to reach in the draft, I think it could be the Bears, and I think it could be this team here, the Bengals. Mike McGlinchey getting picked by Cincinnati, Notre Dame offensive tackle here. And for the Bengals, look, offensive tackle, really offensive line in general for Cincinnati here. And it could be a bit of a reach. I could see McGlinchey going inside the top 15, not necessarily inside the top 10, but he's big. This guy's 6'7", 310, strong hands, holds his blocks effectively. Could see him being a dominant right tackle as the Bengals kind of search for an answer on both sides, right? No Andrew Whitworth on the left side anymore, and you saw Andy Dalton essentially under duress all year long. We saw this coming with the Bengals, probably without Marvin Lewis, and a new head coach. I hope that new head coach will address the offensive line for Cincinnati. McGlinchey going to the Bengals.